this movie's meant to make the viewer uncomfortable, I think. But, I don't know, this is kind of a comfort movie for me for some reason. Yeah, I don't know why I said this was a comfort movie. I don't know what the fuck I was thinking when I said that. This is definitely not a comfort movie. I want to first start this off by saying R.I.P. David Lynch. Hello and welcome back to Strangeworld Cinema. Happy Halloween, by the way, if you're watching this on Halloween. I'm dropping this on Halloween. If you're watching this in February, happy Valentine's Day. On today's episode, we're going to be taking a look at the very first feature from the god of American film surrealism, David Lynch. His dark and thoroughly atmospheric trip, Eraserhead. But before we fall down into this lonely dreamscape, if you have any strange movies you want to recommend to me, whether it is horror, experimental, boundary pushing, weird shit, or anything in between, comment it down below and maybe it will end up an entry on this series one day, or you can send it to me on Twitter. And with all that out of the way, let's get dreamy. Eraserhead is about a man's strained relationship with his girlfriend and her family. After a long and trippy opening sequence that I'm not gonna spoil, we are introduced to Henry, our main character. He's just a guy, you know? He's just an awkward, seemingly kinda anxious guy with a very fucked up haircut. He's just like me. I'm literally him. This is a movie that really captures how I feel about the world myself, actually. You know, I don't like going outside. I feel nervous. We see Henry make his way through this world that he lives in, which appears to be a landscape comprised fully of abandoned factories. Something that really stands out with Eraserhead is its incredible sound design. The background ambiance that's going on. Each shot actually, I think, has its own different sound to it. Every time it cuts to Henry walking around in a different area, it's like a different distant droning effect going on. There was such an attention to detail given with the audio, which to me is extremely important when it comes to movies. A lot of filmmakers, and you know, I was guilty of this too. When I was making short films back in the day, I was obsessing over the camera. You know, you got two types of cameras that people want. They either want the best fucking camera they can get, which is what I did, or they want the worst looking camera they can get for aesthetic. But sound is never really thought about a lot of the time when it comes to indie filmmaking, and that will just fuck you up badly. Okay, sound is just as important as the visuals. Without the sound, if you have some janky ass sound, it's not gonna work. David said in the documentary Eraserhead Stories, quote, "Sound can expand what you're seeing." And I could not have said it better myself. David absolutely nailed the atmosphere with this one for me, personally. I mean, this movie, there's no other movie that feels more like a nightmare than Eraserhead. Everything is dimly lit and there's nobody around. Each room feels like it's from some long forgotten era and there's no way out. Eventually, Henry makes it to his girlfriend's parents' house where he is confronted with possibly the scariest thing that any quiet, anxious man may have to face in his lifetime. Having dinner with unfamiliar people. But it's okay. Luckily, Mary's family, they're very normal and they're very welcoming.
Hello there.
Hello. I'm very pleased to meet you.
This is how I feel in every single interaction I have with people. I just feel awkward, and this movie captures that, tremendously for me.
I thought I heard a stranger. We've got chicken tonight. Strangest damn things. They're man-made, little damn things, smaller than my fist. They're new. I'm Bill.
Hello. I'm Henry.
Henry's at Lapel's factory.
Well, printing's your business, huh? Plumbing's mine. 30 years. I've seen this neighborhood change from pastures to the hellhole it is now. I'd put every damn pipe in this neighborhood.
Dad. Bill.
Now, people think pipes grow in their home. Well, they sure as hell don't. Look at my knees. Look at my knees.
Bill, please.
It's just gonna get weirder from here. This is nothing. After their dinner, Henry learns that Mary somehow not only became pregnant, but also gave birth to their child.
There's a baby. It's at the hospital.
Mom!
And you're the father.
But that's impossible. It's only
Mother,
been...
they're still not sure it is a baby.
It's premature, but there's a baby.
And from here on out, the movie turns into Henry's trials and tribulations of being a new father. And this is his kid. The rest of this movie is an extremely uncomfortable but also darkly funny nightmare. You are trapped in this bleak and oppressive environment with Henry as he just goes through absolute hell. It can be a tough and uncomfortable watch, especially if you're someone who maybe isn't used to this sort of thing. And my advice to you, if you have not seen Eraserhead and you're curious about watching it, this is the optimal way to watch it, okay? Late at night, okay? Dark room, good sound, on the biggest screen that you got. Don't watch it on your laptop or your iPad or your phone, especially your fucking telephone. Get real. This is one of the main movies that sparked my interest in cinema that does things way differently. It's what opened my eyes to the surreal and the experimental, and when it comes to the surreal and experimental, nobody did it like David Lynch. He's the definition of auteur.
All I need is a decent night's sleep.
Why don't you just stay home?
I'll do what I want to do. And you better take real good care of things while I'm gone.
It's one of my favorite little scenes in the whole movie there. Something so like simple as her you know, she goes for her suitcase under the bed. In any movie, she would have just grabbed it and went, you know. But David Lynch, man, he just was like, let's make this scene go on for an uncomfortable amount of time. David started production on Eraserhead in his mid-20s in June of 1972 and finished the movie in 76. It was a very long and difficult shoot, with David taking up most of the tasks himself, including building the sets. Like, usually you hire someone to do that. He did it himself. Eraserhead was made on a grant from the AFI, the American Film Institute, and also was mostly filmed on the grounds of the school itself, with some shooting locations being in downtown Los Angeles. They filmed the majority of Eraserhead overnight, which, of course, they did, with some of the cast and the crew working during the daytime. One of the members of the crew worked as a waitress at a diner, and she would bring them food after her shifts and continue working all through the night. She got David a few jobs, which he didn't remember at all.
We would get you odd jobs at the restaurant, remember?
I don't remember that.
You fixed the roof for them?
I did?
In fact, he did not remember writing the script for Eraserhead. He said he didn't remember the ideas coming in for Eraserhead. But even though he didn't remember the ideas coming in, he did say that it was all inspired by his time of living in Philadelphia, which for some reason was hell. I don't know what's going on in Philadelphia. I'm not from America. I don't know what goes on over there. But apparently it was enough to traumatize David Lynch. Comment below if you're from Philadelphia. I'm praying for you, I guess. They were truly immersed in the world of Eraserhead. David even secretly lived in the set that was on the AFI grounds. which he wasn't technically allowed to do. So during the day when they weren't filming, he would bolt pieces of wood against the door and barricade himself in the room that was Henry's room in the film. According to the crew and David himself, the set where he built the stage for the famous Radiator Girl scene was haunted, and the ghost that allegedly lurked those grounds was even seen by 2 different people on production, one of them being Jack Nance, who said he woke up from a nap while resting in this pit that they were shooting in, just to see an apparition standing above him. You know, I'm not exactly a firm believer of ghosts. You know, I want to believe that would be cool if they were real. Unfortunately, I'm a pretty skeptical person, so I don't believe in ghosts normally. But if we're talking the set of Eraserhead, where all this wacky shit was happening, you know what, fuck it. I believe them. There was ghosts there. Why not? Why not? The shooting for Eraserhead took a long time, like I said, much longer than most movies tend to take. And a funny bit of trivia is that this scene here where Henry walks into his apartment cuts to a shot that was filmed a year and a half later. And because shooting took so long, Jack Nance had to keep this now iconic haircut all those years while waiting for production to wrap up. His oddball haircut often drew tons of attention when him and David would be out driving around Los Angeles. People would just flock to them like they were some sort of otherworldly beings. Which, let's be honest, they kinda were. Eventually, David finished Eraserhead, and all that was left was to show it to people. According to Lynch, he assumed the film wouldn't even see the light of day while he made it. It was a passion project that he made for him.
When we were making the film, we weren't thinking about an audience. I wasn't really thinking about what it would do. We would sometimes fantasize, and think, but we never really thought that we'd even get it distributed.
If you are true to yourself and you make some shit that you think is cool, other people will think it's cool too. After a very small screening for the cast, crew, their family, and friends, the movie was lined up to officially premiere in Century City, Los Angeles at midnight, March 19th, 1977. David said in Eraserhead stories that he was too afraid to watch the movie at the premiere. He paced around outside the venue for, quote, what felt like 400 hours. I know exactly how this feels, As someone who has made art throughout my life, it's fun to make it, but then as soon as you want to, show someone, it's like, why do you want to see it? I don't want to be here when you watch this thing I made. I can't even imagine, at a gigantic theater, making something, spending so many years on something, and then putting it in front of an audience who doesn't know what to expect. That must have, I probably would have been chain smoking just the same way, and I don't even like cigarettes like that. The film initially was difficult to sell to the public because of how strange it was, but after some promotional material was made, word of mouth began to take hold, and soon Eraserhead would become a massive hit amongst audiences looking for something different to experience. Many have attempted to decipher Eraserhead and land on a meaning, but David firmly stated for his entire life that nobody had interpreted it in the same way that he himself saw it. But then again, David himself may not have known truly what Eraserhead was about, maybe. Stating in the documentary Lynch 1 that he read the Bible to, quote, find out what Eraserhead was about. And if you've seen Eraserhead, what do you think it's about? Drop your theories below if you got some about Eraserhead. Go watch Eraserhead. Go pick up the Criterion Blu-ray if you can afford such a thing. I know it's a bit of a... The Criterions are pretty expensive, but trust me, this shit's worth it. Look, it comes with a little booklet. Look, here's David and the crew back in the 70s working on the movie. But yeah, get the Criterion if you're a real film head, or you can just watch it on YouTube for free. Most movies are on YouTube for free. I don't know if you guys know this, but shh, if there's a movie you're trying to find to watch and it's hard to find, usually it's on YouTube for free. All you have to do is type in the movie and then type in the year, and then sometimes typing in 1080p or English subtitles or something like that, you will find the entire movie. That's how I watched Love and Pop, because it's so fucking hard to find. I would buy the Blu-ray if it was easily accessible, but it's not, so I watched it on YouTube. By the way, that's a fucking fantastic movie. I'll probably cover that eventually in this series sometime. But yeah, piracy's bad. Don't piracy. Anyways, thanks so much for watching. If you enjoyed the video, please hit the like button. If you're not subscribed to the channel, please subscribe. That'd be cool. That'd be awesome. That'd make me feel happy about myself. It's rare that I feel happy about myself. I'm just kidding. Thanks for hanging out with me in this strange world. Happy Halloween, like I said, and I'll see you on the next one, hopefully.